I feel like media has a lot to do with how people imagine themselves and how they imagine their communities. And I feel like the media encourages communities that define themselves based on consuming.
I think that our generation is probably really attached to technology, but I think that's also a stereotype.
It was nothing like that when we were kids. We didn't have the cell phones, we didn't have the computers. We didn't spend time doing that. And it seems like that's where you guys spend all your time.
I have everything technology related. I have a cell phone, I have an iPod, I have a car, computer, TV, electricity, everything.
You don't have a Wii?
Yeah, I do. I have a Wii and an Xbox and a GameCube. Okay.
Laptop.
An iPod.
A cell phone.
Computer.
TV.
Laptop. iPod.
iPod.
CD player.
Cell phone.
I think my generation doesn't appreciate what we have. I think we take advantage of the technology we have in that, yeah, we just don't understand how important everything that we have is.
My biggest concern about how technology affects youth today is it's kind of disconnects them from relating more to one another and having conversations and things.
You guys have access to everything and anything.
Kind of makes teenagers lazier nowadays. There's all kinds of cell phones. The way I look at it is you really had to make sure you checked in with mom or dad. You had to call and make sure you had a place to go after school. Now it's just so wide open.
If you look at the world or something, like if you go on MySpace, you can like make friends that you don't even know. So, I don't know. So more connected to like everyone.
I feel like teens are growing up too fast. I feel like there's just so much exposure to all kinds of adult issues and relationship issues and world issues that they're getting hit with so fast that you just can't even really process it or like really figure out how do I feel about something like that, because you're just hit with so many things all the time. So I feel like they are, especially through media and movies.
Just like the media has always done, they portray what they want you to see and not necessarily the facts. So, you know, what you see and what he sees or what I see may not even be the real whole issue at hand. We need and that's up to the parents, or, you know, depending on how inclined the teenager is to get that vital information themselves. But yeah, they just show us what they want to show, and it's not always right what they show.
I also think that teens are often vulnerable to be influenced by the media, to look a certain way, to act a certain way, to buy certain kinds of music, to buy certain kinds of clothes.
Kids aren't being taught optimism. Kids aren't being taught to be idealistic or to be proactive and try and create change in the world. They're rather taught that they should be skeptical and that they should only care about themselves, and that's what's smart.
Yeah, I think it's really strange. I forget the exact statistics, but something like 70% of Americans think that at some point they'll be in the upper 1% of earning capacity. You know, and I think that starts in your teenage years and starts largely because of how the media portrays life, that everybody's going to have, you know, some mad cars and an amazing mansion, and you're going to live large.
And I think that's a real fault in our educational system as a whole in our nation, that I think we need to start doing more programs like this, like what you guys are doing. I think is great, and I think that's one of the big solutions to the problem in our country.
For your generation, that's going to be much different. You guys have the ability to find all this information. When I was growing up, it was very much of like, information came to you, whether it was you turning on the nightly news or it's the newspaper that came to you. Like, you didn't have that many opportunities to find information, so you were much more passive. You know, whereas your generation, you guys can be a lot more active in terms of hunting down a source of information that you feel really interested and loyal and have faith in. You know, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people bemoan that you guys have all this crap coming at you, just bad information. But I think it's almost. I'm pretty optimistic for you guys, for your generation, because I think you guys have a real chance to like be able to sort of stylize where you get your information and who you want to believe.
There's this issue called net neutrality, where a lot of companies, where telephone companies want to make certain websites that pay a lot of money load a lot faster. So basically, the more money you have, the faster your website loads. And this is a big thing because the internet isn't always going to be the free place that it's been for us. It's only right now, the internet is so cool and so free for everybody to post whatever they want. It's a great democratizer because there's public policy that allows it to be that. And if we don't stop, you know, huge corporations, telecommunications corporations, from taking that away by having certain websites load faster, then, you know, this whole, you know, the internet's so free and so uncensored and whatnot goes away. So I think that's the big issue, keeping the internet democratic.
I see more and more young people really questioning the status quo and not, you know, trying to do things that are different and trying not to get sucked into, you know, the kind of standard culture. And I feel like, you know, there's a good, I feel pretty optimistic, but I definitely am concerned.
And I would say the same thing. I feel concerned, but I feel like, you know, even though you're having to deal with things faster than we did, you know, it's still the generational thing, how young people have ideals and they go for things. And, you know, we did, from our parents, had really good ideas, and we were already facing more things in the world than our parents did. So you all are having to deal with more things. And I trust, and I just want to have faith that you're going to work through it. As much as, wow, to me sometimes it feels like too much. I have a feeling that, you know, that you will. And many youth, unfortunately, may make it derailed and have a really hard journey because of what they get into when they're younger. But overall, I feel like there will be a lot of really great ideas that will come out of the youth today.